All right, so lesson 2.4 is talking about parallel lines and then transversals, but we're also talking about the types of angles that we create. Now, yesterday we talked about corresponding angles. We talked about alternate interior, alternate exterior, and same side. Here's the properties of them. Same side or consecutive, whichever one you want to say, those are the only pair that are supplementary. If they are supplementary, what does that mean? Together, they're going to make 180 degrees. So let's write out here to the side. L plus L equals 180, and I'll explain what that means. Consecutive interiors, that means the little angle plus the little angle. If I add them together, I should get 180. Okay? Then if you notice, all the other ones are what? Congruent. So anytime you have a pair of corresponding angles, you're going to set them equal to each other. Anytime you have alternate interior angles, you're going to set them equal to each other. Anytime you have alternate exterior angles, you're going to set them equal to each other. The only ones that are 180 or supplementary are consecutive. I like to remember that this way. Same side supplementary. Right? If they're on the same side, then they are supplementary. We also remember that vertical angles, we talked about in Unit 1, vertical angles are congruent to each other, so we're going to set them equal. But then remember a linear pair, right? We're going to add those together to make 180 because they make that line. So vertical angles we're going to set equal to each other, and then a linear pair we add up to be 180. Okay, so those two things are a review. So again, all the angles, when in doubt, set them equal to each other because the only kind that are supplementary are same side interior. Okay, so if I give you one example and one angle, you can find all the others. Okay, so let's label this diagram. We're going to find the measure of angle 1 is 65. So let's write that in our diagram. We know that angle 1 is 65. What's another angle that we know the measure of?
7.
Okay, someone who said 7. Amanda, is that you? Why is angle 7 65? Why are they the same? Okay, you weren't here yesterday, so that was a good guess. Why are 1 and 7 the same, Katie? They're alternate exterior, right? And didn't we say that alternate exterior are the same? So we know that angle 7 is 65, so we're going to put that over here. Angle 7 is 65. We know that because they are alternate exterior angles. Okay, what's another angle measure I know in this diagram?
Angle 3.
Angle 3. How much is angle 3?
65. It's a vertical pair.
Okay, a vertical angle with angle 1, right? So angle 1 and 3 are vertical. So we know that angle 3 is 65. And we chose vertical angles. But guys, you notice this? Look. What about angle 3 and angle 7? What kind are those?
Consecutive?
Not consecutive, they're corresponding, right? And what did we say corresponding were? Equal as well, right? So you could have said they were 65 that way too. Okay? All right, what else do I know? 5. How much is 5? 65 as well, right? Angle 5 is 65. Elvis, why do you say 5 is 65?
Because it's vertical and corresponding.
Okay, it's vertical and corresponding and not supplementary. What about these two right here, guys? Look up at my diagram. Aren't these alternate interior? And alternate interior are congruent. They're all congruent unless you have same side. Okay, so how are we going to make the jump for the other one? Any of the other ones. How are you going to get to any of the other ones?
You take 1, angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180.
Okay, so Julia's reminding us that these two right here make a linear pair, right? So I know that if I add angle 1 plus angle 2, so I can say over here to the side, 65 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180. Okay, so this is getting us in the habit of writing our equations out. 65 plus measure of angle 2 is going to give me 180. Elvis?
Can you just subtract 180 by 65?
Yep.
What angle 2 is?
Yep, it's because it's exactly the same as what we're doing, right? We would subtract 65, subtract 65. What do we get? Anyone have their calculator? 115. Is that what you said? 115. Okay. Anyone agree with 115? Okay. We knew that angle 2 was 115 because of a linear pair, and I'm going to abbreviate that with LP. All right, so if I know, let's go ahead and label our diagram. If I know that this is 115, James, what other angle do I know here?
Angle 4.
How much is angle 4?
115.
Also 115. Because they are what?
Well, not only are they vertical, but they are corresponding.
Not corresponding. They are vertical, you're right. But do you guys remember that if I talked about this angle right here and this angle right here, they're same side interior? So these two should make 180 together. Okay. What else do we know? Monica? Angle 8 is 115. Why is angle 8 115? Okay, angle 8 and angle 7 makes 180. So you chose a linear pair. We could have also said that it was corresponding with 4. Okay, and then how much is angle 6 here, folks? 115. And we could say vertical angles, there's a multitude of them.
Is angle 8 also help when it exclude angle 2?
Yes. Yep, that would also work. Okay, let's try example 2. Let's try example 2. Why don't you see what you can do on your own? I'm not necessarily super concerned about the reasons right now, okay? Try and do as many as you can. Don't put that pencil down. So we know that angle 6 is 142. So we can label our diagram that that's 142. Bless you.
There's no number 6.
No place to write it, but that just
Right, there's no place to write it because it gives it to you in the directions. Okay, Ben, how much is angle 1? 142. How much is angle 2, Kara? 38, because 180 minus 142 is 38. Okay. Angle 3. Caitlin, what'd you say for angle 3? 142, I would agree with that. Angle 4, James? Angle 4 is, yes, 38. Sorry, took me a minute. Angle 5, Chris.
142?
Angle 5 is 142?
No, 38.
Because look, these two make 180 degrees, right? So angle 5 is also going to be 38. Angle 7, Brian. Perfect, 38. Angle 8, Natasha. 142. Anybody get all these right? Woo! Fire! Okay, we'll work on the reasoning part of it. Let's go to example 4. So we're going to skip example 3. Let's go to example 4. Just kidding. You guys are going to be fine.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's label the two angles that they gave us. Okay, label the two angles that they gave you. Angle 12, you're going to want to write small. On angle, are you on example 4 or example 3? Okay. Example 4. Those of you that write large, you're going to want to shrink your handwriting so that you can fit things where they need to go. And angle 6 is 75. Okay. Now, here is my suggestion when you have a big diagram like this. My suggestion is to start at the diagram. Fill out your diagram completely, and then go in and fill in the blanks of how much the angles are. Okay? So, if angle 12 is 121, what's another angle that I know? 7. How much is 7? All right, it's also 121. Okay? Now, let's talk about this. Look up here at my picture. Angle 12 and angle 14 are corresponding, right? They're in between these two lines. One's outside, one's inside. But do those angles look like they are the same measurement?
No.
Okay? So they are still corresponding, but they do not have a relationship as far as their measure is concerned, because these two lines, these x's, these are not the ones that are parallel. So I'm not going to go between those two lines. Instead, I'm going to go between the lines that are parallel, which are these two lines. Okay? So if I know that angle 7 is 121, anything else? Anybody know anything else?
Angle 1 and 2 is equal to 120.
Okay? So what Julia just said is that angle 1 and 2 together, do you guys see how these two together and these two together, right? Those are corresponding. So I'm not going to put the 121 there quite yet.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So 6 is 75, right?
6 is 75, okay.
So would 1 be 75?
Oh, would you guys agree with that?
And then you subtract 121.
Okay, all right. Hold that thought. I'm coming back to you. Okay, so we know that 6 is 75, and so then 1 is going to be 75. Do you need me to kill a spider for you?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, spiders.
It's fine. Neither does my husband, and he's 250 pounds. Guys, it's fine. I saved all of your lives just then. Okay, so angle 1 is 75. And then between Julia and Elvis, right, we know that this whole thing right here is 121, and this whole thing is 121. But if we've already used up 75 right here, how can we figure out how much angle 2 is? Subtract from 121. So everyone with their calculators, if you don't have a calculator, you should probably go grab one. Did I hear 46? 46. Okay, this guy is 46. So angle 2 is 46. If angle 2 is 46, what else do I know? Monica? Okay, so Monica's saying that angle 1, 2, and 3 together make how much? Do you guys agree that 1, 2, and 3 together make 180?
Yes.
Right? So 75 plus 46, what is that? 121, right? Because we just figured that earlier. So what's 180 minus 121? 59. So angle 3 has to be 59. You keep saying that, but you're getting the right answer. So I want you to stop saying this is confusing. Okay? Then we're going to work through it. If I know that angle 2 is 46, what else is 46? Angle 5, right? Because they're across from each other. Right? Okay. Okay. And what did you just say, Brian?
Angle 4 is 59.
Angle 4 is 59, right? Because those are vertical angles that are across from each other. All right, we're doing great so far. What about angle 10? So remember that 6 and 10, what kind of angles are those? 6 and 10. Same side, interior. And same side, interior have to add up to be what? 180. Okay, so Braxton, if I know that 6 is 75, how can I figure out how much angle 10 is?
Angles of 6 and 10.
And equal them to? 180. Okay, so 75 plus measure of angle 10 is going to have to give me 180. 105.
What was that?
What, do you want me to say that part again?
Yes.
Okay, so 75, this angle, and this angle down here, they're on the same side of this line right here, right? And they're both on the inside. So they are same side interior. And same side interior have to make 180 degrees. Okay? So we've already used up 75, which means angle 10 we said is 105. Is that what you guys said? Okay, if I know how much angle 10 is, Ashley, how much is angle 13? Is that a confident answer or is that a question? Make it a confident answer. Because they're vertical angles, right? They're across from each other. They make that X. Okay, so angle 13 is going to be 105. Jonathan, what are your thoughts about finding angle 14?
Angle 14.
Yeah.
Angle 14 is going to be the same as the line.
Yes, I would agree with that. 14 and 9 are going to be the same. Would you agree that 13 and 14 make a what? Do they make that straight line?
Yeah.
So they make how much?
180.
180, all right? So 13 and 14 are going to make 180. Together they make that straight line. Okay, so if 13 is 105, how much is 14? 75. Okay, if 14 is 75, Carla, how much is angle 9?
That would be 75.
Also 75 because it's across from there. Whew, guys, we're almost done. Okay, Tylea, what do you know about angle 11 and angle 12?
Oh.
11 and 12? They make a line, right? 11 and 12 are going to make a line, and so that means they have to add up to be how much? 180. So if we subtract 121, what's 180 minus 121? 59. So angle 11 is 59. Brian, what else is 59?
Angle 8.
There we go.
I
Woo!
like this. I think it's cool.
Give your neighbor a high five. Carla, Ben's going to need a high five right now. James.
I get past it.
So now, okay, so now that you have all these numbers, now you can fill in the blanks with what you need to. Okay? So we all can match up our numbers, hopefully. Okay, so let's go on and do the next example. You ready to do this again? Let's do example 5. Woo!
Bring it on.
There you go. Example 5, not 6. Go to example 5. Shh, you're going to be fine. Okay, label the two angles they gave you on example 5. Label the two angles they gave you on example 5. Yeah, I know, it is kind of smushed in there. And angle 10 is 102.
Can I go ahead and work through it?
You guys want to work through it on your own?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. Fill in ones that you know. Remember, guys, you can only go back and forth between... Hey, pay attention for just a second. You can only go back and forth between these two lines. So, like, these groups of numbers should be the same, and then these groups of numbers should be the same. Okay? Because those are the lines that are parallel. So cover up maybe the bottom. I just saw Natasha, she just covered up this. So she could just work between those. Okay? And then she'll cover up this one and then she can work between those. That might be helpful. That's a good idea. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to go through this in the diagram. Okay? So if 10 is 102, 12 is 102. So is angle 2. So is angle 4. So 2, 4, 10, and 12 are all 102, which makes the other group how much? 78. Angle 1 is 78, angle 3 is 78, angle 9 is 78, angle 11 is 78. Who has those 8 angles correct? Okay. Okay, down at the bottom. I'm going to get a different color here. So if this one's 38, we know that angle 5 is 38. Also 13 is 38, and so is then 15. Okay? Then the next group are going to add up to be 180 with the 38. So how much is 14? 142. So 16 is 142 because of vertical angles. 6 is 142, and 8 is 142. Anyone get that group correct as well?
No.
Make some adjustments. Julia, do you have a question?
Well, isn't 14, 142?
Yes?
Okay.
That's what I have on my diagram. Okay, most of your problems are not going to be a big diagram like this. Most of your problems are going to be on the next page. They're on the next page. So let's look at page 17. Okay, page 17 says, if L is parallel to M on every single one of these problems, find the value of the missing variable. So you first have to determine what type of angles they are to determine whether you need to set them equal to each other or you need to set them equal to 180. Okay? So if we're looking at angle 1, what kind of angles are these two angles? Are they alternate interior? What, Elvis? They're corresponding, right? One's outside, one's inside. Corresponding. No, number 1 is corresponding.
I was talking about the next.
Okay. So what I'd like for you to do, please, it doesn't say this in the directions, but I'd like for you to write in the box what kind of angles they are first. You can abbreviate. And we know that corresponding angles are equal to each other, right? So we're going to go ahead and set these two angles equal to each other. 5x minus 2 equals 58. And we just add 2, right? So we have 5x equals 60. What does x equal? 12. That's it. Okay, number 2. What kind of angles are number 2, Chris? What kind of angles are number 2?
Alternate exterior.
Alternate exterior. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, and alternate exterior, we're going to write that there at the box. Alternate exterior. Alternate exterior angles are what? Equal, congruent, right? The only kind that are not congruent are going to be the same side ones. What's wrong? You with me? You okay?
No, because my
We're
brain
good.
keeps forgetting stuff.
Okay.
All right. So,
We're on number 2. That might be the problem.
oh, that's the.
Okay. So we're going to set these equal to each other. 134 equals 16x plus 22.
Oh.
I know you guys can solve this. What is that? 112 equals 16x. What does x equal? 7. Okay. All right, so we're just going to go through and kind of set these up instead of, because this part's easy, right? Once you get it set up, you can solve these. All right, so let's look at example 3, number 3. It's talking about this angle here and this 125 up here. Sometimes it's hard to see what they're talking about. What kind of angles are these, Lexi? Are they both one inside, one outside? They're both on the inside, right? So are they alternate interior or same side interior? Alternate interior. And what do we know about alternate interior angles? They equal each other. So you have 7x minus 1 equals 125. We're not going to spend time solving that one because I know you know how to do that. Let's look at example 4. So we're talking about this angle here and 133 up here. Elvis, what kind are they?
They're same side.
Same side interior. And what do we know about same side interior, folks?
Add them together.
There you go. You're going to add them together to equal 180. That's the only kind besides a linear pair. So I have 9x plus 2 plus 133 equals 180. You guys okay with that? Any questions on this part so far? Pretty simple. You don't have to write congruent at all. You mean consecutive? Yeah, it doesn't matter to me which words you use. Okay, let's look at number 9. Okay, because the rest of these are kind of the same. So let's look at number 9. So in number 9, I have x's and y's. You guys see that? X's and y's. So we can't put x's and y's in the same equation together. So we first need to deal with, we have two x expressions. I have this one and this one. Okay, so what kind of angles are the ones with x? What kind are those? Not corresponding. They're not on the same side. Alternate interior. Okay? So alternate interior angles we know are congruent. They're the same. So we're going to set 8x minus 31 equals 6x plus 3. Okay, let's go ahead and solve that one out. Is that what you got? 17. Okay, we're getting x to be 17. Okay. Any idea how we're going to find out what y is, Katie?
You gotta plug X back into the.
Okay, we're going to plug x back into which one?
You can do 8x minus 31.
You can do 8x minus 31. Okay? But they're the same, right? So it doesn't really matter which one you plug it back into. Okay, so let's plug x back into either one of those because remember those angles are the same. So if I do 6 times 17, if I plug it into that one, plus 3. 6 times 17 to carry your 4 is that 102 plus 3. So I'm getting 105. Okay, so I know that this angle here is 105. And so is this angle up here. They're both 105. If both of those are 105, someone raise your hand and tell me how we're going to figure out what y is. Someone who I haven't heard from very much today. Then Natasha. Perfect. Natasha says we're going to take 105 plus 5y plus 35 equals 180. Because whether you're looking at them as a linear pair or whether you're looking at them as same side interior, they equal 180 degrees together. Excellent. Okay, so let's take a minute to do that. Is that 8y? 3y? 5y. Please make sure you follow order of operations, meaning you need to combine 105 and 35 first before you move over. Are you guys getting y to be 8? Yes, excellent. Okay, any questions about that one? Ashley, how you feeling? I don't know what that face means. It's not a disaster. Okay, what about number 10? How are we going to start number 10? Kyle, how are we going to start number 10?
You're going to add 29x minus 3 13x plus 7 to equal 180.
All right, so we have to start with the x's, because that's what we have the most of. And we know that these two added together make 180. They make a linear pair. They make that line. So we're going to add them together to equal 180. Let's do that first. Remember to combine like terms on either side before you start moving to the other side.
If they're on.
So 29x minus 3 plus 15x plus 7 plus 180. We're getting 44x equals 176. I'm just going to copy off your paper there, Ben. So x is 4. We get x to be 4. You guys okay with that so far?
Yeah.
That x is 4. Okay, then what do we know about that next one? How are we going to find y? Anyone?
You have to plug the 4 in.
Okay, we got to plug the 4 back in. Which one are you plugging 4 back in for, Natasha?
29x minus.
Right, because look, this angle with the y and this angle up here, these are alternate, because they're on opposite sides of this. They're alternate exterior, and alternate exterior angles have to equal each other. Okay? So I can set the 29, but instead of x, I'm going to put 4 minus 3 equals 13y minus 7. Okay, so those are alternate exterior angles, so I can set them equal to each other. I'm going to figure out how much this one is first. Oh, instead of 7? Thank you. Anybody, what is 29 times 4?
116.
116, thank you. Okay, Talia, what'd you get for y? Did you get an answer yet? Check with your table mates, see if you get the same value for y. And same thing as I got, James. You got? I got 10. Good. Yep. 10, 10, 10, 10?
Yes.
All right. Any questions about this? You got to figure out what kind of angles they are, and then what is their relationship? Are they equal to each other, or do they make 180? That's what your job is to figure out, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do homework number 9. There are more problems on the back of this. You're welcome to do that if you would like more practice, maybe before your test. But we're going to do homework 9. It's 2-sided. Okay, it says homework 9 at the top. It's page 19 and 20. And then your Unit 3 test review is your homework for the weekend, because we are going to have a test on Monday. All right.